Vigilus alone. Why? This is another campaign book in the Warzone Nachmund, which is again the tournament scene or the tournament setup for this one, which has the whole new setup. This is a nice little campaign book for that add-on to it. It contains some Space Marine rules, Army Renown for Space Marines, and then Bloody Rose little Codex supplement. Overall, not a whole lot of stuff, and it's kind of annoying that it has this giant chaos thing, and there's no chaos in here. I mean, I guess there's chaos in the fluff, but yeah. So let's go dive in. So Space Marines get two things in this book. They have two new character sheets. One is the Gravis Captain, kind of like if you remember, they had it in Indominus, or no, I think it was the one before, they had the Gravis Captain, and they never released the models out. So they came up with a new one, which has some more options, more things. He is the more interesting one in here because he has this Gravis fighting style that gives him more attacks depending on the weapon he has. And I kind of like that stuff. So these are things that you might see in the future. They might go heavy into the Gravis armor, which is one of those things we've talked about for Marines, and kind of like, hey, these armors are better at this thing. These other armors are better at this one. So he's pretty neat. I think he's okay if Marines were just better in general. He could show up because he punches pretty hard, has a lot of attacks, and it's pretty good. The other thing that's on here is that they finally gave a Primera Standard Bearer that isn't like the Blade Guard Ancient. He's the regular standard bearer you can have for it. The big add-on is that he gets a power sword now. So that's the kind of one thing on it. I'm kind of disappointed there wasn't a whole lot of extra banners for all the different Space Marine chapters, because that could have been a cool thing to say, hey, get this guy, you can get all these cool banners, that'd be awesome. From there, on the other Marine stuff, that you have an Army of Renown where you have a bunch of Marines in the Phobos armor. The one interesting thing on this Army of Renown is that it's very fast army, because there's a lot of things that make the Phobos want to keep moving and keep going on there. I mean, they're supposed to be this kind of elite assassination team. So that's kind of neat on it. Again, if Marines were just better, it might make things a little bit better for this army. They're just in a really weird place, so giving these rules on units that are kind of subpar is kind of frustrating. There's lots of things like extra to hit, they can ignore line of sight, to characters, they can move faster, they can do other things, they can do all kinds of wounding things. So it's neat stuff, but you're shoving it on top of something that is not always the best. So that's my kind of problem with this book, that you have this little bit of Marine options, like, oh, these are kind of neat, and they're just, it's not up to snuff to make it show up in the tournament scene, where you'd be rather playing the Black Templars are just going to be better, or everything else on there, or Space Wolves with a bunch of combination chapter traits. We've got one more thing in here, and the one that's the more interesting one is the Bloody Rose Sisters of Battle. The new tournament rules, the match play setup, means that you're kind of locked into your factionable keyword. And so if you play Bloody Rose, this will be something you want to pick up, because there are good rules on it. There's ways that things hit harder. You've got some scout moves you can do with Repention Rhinos. You've got some other options on there that are pretty neat. Some cool warlord traits. There's ways to do mortal wounds on here. So I think it's if you're playing Bloody Rose, it's something to look at. It's something definitely to kind of check out, because it just gives you extra rules on top of your army that you have in Sisters. It's not like you're forcing you to make a specific army list. It's not forcing this stuff. It just gives you more stuff to utilize. And there's good options there. Like, there's ways to do mortal wounds. There's ways to go faster. There's ways to do more attacks in close combat. So that's all good stuff. I mean, it's not like it's bad rules. It's just, it depends on your wanting to play Bloody Rose or not. So that's really all you kind of got in here, besides a bunch of Crusade and campaign rules, which is we're fresh. I kept looking for chaos stuff, and there's this chaos stuff on here. I think that's all I really saw, and a big arrow pointing down. But that's what we got for this little nugget of a GW campaign Warzone nonsense. So, do I think it's worth it? If you played Bloody Rose, Sisters of Battle, maybe. Everyone else, no. I don't think it gives you a whole lot. I don't think it gives you a whole lot for Marines that you don't already have in your other books, because I don't think you're playing a lot of Reavers or Phobos Captain stuff. So yeah, I would probably ignore it for most players, and I'm kind of annoyed that we don't, have more stuff in here. There's a lot of little tiny things that you could have done that could have just been add more to it, and it always makes me again wonder, why isn't the Bloody Rose as one of those just in the White Dwarf? Been a easier White Dwarf thing or anything else like that, but that's just me. Hey, why don't you click on a link here to listen to some of our other campaign rules or reviews? I'm Goatboy from Bulls. I'll talk to you later.